Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on December 20th, 2023 at approximately 4:14 p.m. PST. Now, I have returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the exact same philosophies that I personally guide my own life by on a day-to-day basis. Now, I know these tools will work for you because they've worked for me and literally thousands of clients over the decades. With this in mind, they have had various degrees of success depending on their own personal, efforts. So, what say we get started about putting 2023 to rest once and for all? But just before we get there, okay, we have Shadow and Sun in the house with the gold. And where, pray tell, is my one document? That one. So this is the live stream for Shadow and Sun. So absolutely drop by and drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of it. It is this sharing between different peoples that is going to make this a possibility. That's going to make turning the world around a very plausible possibility. Yeah, we minimize that and we go back up here. And we have Blurky is in with the silver, followed immediately thereafter by Joe. And Joe Stewart, you are in with the bronze today. Now, Blurky, I don't think I've seen you in here in a while, but if you have been, my apologies, but welcome aboard anyway. And with honorable mention is Football Cat. How you doing, Football? Glad you could join us. There we are. Now, we are really taking a look at this and going, okay, 2023 is coming to a close. I figured, what the heck? Okay, that makes sense there, Blurky. Yeah, and sharing your time with us. From my standpoint, that is the whole point here, that we can all find a safe place. Okay, because there are way too many complications going on, but the reality is there are way more positive things going on in this world, way more celebration than misery. We just have to learn to focus on it. Now, Emmy Tonga, how you doing? And let me see here. Emmy should be, where are we? Lost track of what I was doing. Yeah. Okay. Now, that being said, thank you so much regarding the haircut. Turns out the people I've been seeing, I've been going to for the last 15 years, are closing their doors as well in January. So I got them to deal with the whole situation. And like I told them, thanks so much. It's been wonderful. I haven't had to worry about it at all. Of course, in all fairness, I don't go that often. And we have here, who else is left here? From my standpoint, it really boils down to this. Everybody is in the same place right now. Okay, aside from being in the chat room here, every one of you has gone through whatever situations you've gone through. You're all right here, right now. So let's take a look at, and we're going to look at 2023 here and go, okay, the fact of the matter is, we cannot do it. None of us can do a thing about what happened in 23. We can, however, decide what is going to happen for us for the most part in 2024. Now, you saw sad to say, and it's a good thing it only takes a couple of days, but you saw my bed in a couple of days, just yesterday, where it was just totally covered. Well, I will finish clearing it tonight. But on top of this, The hallway, the top shelf of the hallway is completely finished. And yes, in answer to that wonderful little question that nobody's asked yet, I am actually going to be turning around and posting before and after pictures so people get an idea of just exactly how this system works. Celeste, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, the reality of all this. Oh, it says, the front of my shirt says, my people's skills are just fine. It's my tolerance of idiots that needs work. Which is one of the reasons why I've pulled away from people a lot. Okay, and I know some people don't like the term idiot. I'm sorry, there are ways I look at things and go, well, actually, I'm not sorry. There comes a point when you have to look at what somebody's doing and going, did you even consider thinking before you did that? But so I have come to the understanding that these little shirts with the little sayings do have a certain amount of use to them. Okay. But exactly how that's all going to work out at this point, I'm not 100% certain. I do know that I took a look back over 2023, and I made some very definitive changes to what I'm going into 24 with. 24, I'm going in with both feet at a dead run. I am not waiting for this world to turn itself upside down anymore. Okay, but the only way I can do that is if I turn around and literally start making things happen. Net result, I think I've only got one more bill that will be paid tonight. And then I'm done with the bill paying until next year. Okay, that will clear everything off. And with a little bit of luck and a whole lot of focus, I will manage to stay focused on the upper side of things, on what is going on in a positive fashion. Now, the reality is it's taking longer to get some things turned around, but take a look at your own life. Are you content with what 23 has left you with? Because 24, we're taking it back. Okay, we're literally, we're going to take the bull by the horns and go, I'm no longer content. I'm not going to sit quietly in the darkness anymore and just take what people throw at me. Okay, I figure I can sit there and we can all sit there and just not say a word and go with the flow and continue to complain that life is miserable. We absolutely can. I'm choosing to look at 24 in a whole new light. Okay, now 23 has been absolutely tumultuous for me. I can hold on to the fact I've had problems. I've disliked people. I've lost trust in people. That doesn't change. But I don't have to tell you every day of the week, or anybody else, myself included, that I don't trust the way people are. Gordana, how we doing? Glad you could join us. And I have no idea if this is some other guy. I mean, realistically, the computer can be hacked and somebody else can be a picture can be put in there. Not always well, but what the heck? But we can choose to sit back and go, okay, it's somebody else's fault. Somebody else will clean up the mess. Okay. Now, I will tell you, I'm going through this whole 9 yards at this point and going, it's going to be cleared. Like a lot of this stuff here, well, in all fairness, from here all the way back to where the file stopped. The files actually stop here. So by the end of tonight, and by the end of tomorrow, in all likelihood, wait a minute. I'm just trying to figure out what today is. If today is Wednesday, then it'll be by the time that I get back on Friday. Ken, how we doing? Glad you could join us. What is today? Gives you an idea how, yeah, today's Wednesday. So that mess that you see on the bed will be gone by the time I get back on Friday. And we're going to cover Friday itself in a couple of minutes. But at this point, this mess, in all fairness, by the time I get back on Friday, I'm hopefully going to have all of these files gone as well. Okay, because I gotta get them out of here. But we can stand there, and that can be closed. I've decided I am not taking the energy from 2023 into 2024. It's just not happening. It's not welcome. Therefore, I'm leaving it behind. And I encourage the bunch of you to do the exact same thing and pass that message on to other people. Nathan, how we doing? Glad you could join us. Where are we here? I got to bring that other file up. There. And Nathan, here we are. We go copy, and this is the link to Nathan's live stream. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up, and then share the daylights out of the thing. Do subscribe to it for obvious reasons. That way you can share it. Okay, but we have a choice. We can continue sitting back, staring at the things that are telling us, oh, we're going to die. We're going to have war. We're going to have shortages of food. We're going to have an increase in population. You know, we're at war. I can go on and on. 2023 is coming to a close. You're not changing anything that has already happened. But what you can do is the exact same thing I'm currently doing myself. Okay, take a look at where you're standing and go, okay, where am I heading? You know, that is absolutely the important part here. It is time to reclaim power over our own life. Now, here's how to get started. By the way, Celeste, congratulations. You know, very well done. You know, the whole catch here, I was talking to a chap today that runs a business, okay, and as he put it, the money is not the important factor for him. The customer, the client, the CEO, well, in his case, he runs a pet store. So the pet shop, the pets are the important factor. Everything else is a bonus. Okay, what I'm aiming at this year, from coming into 2024, I'm going in with a couple of very solid goals in mind. Okay, and I'm working on getting them written down to make sure I've got exactly the 12 I'm aiming for. Okay, so I've got to work with. But, and I do strongly encourage you all to pick 12 things to get to work on to complete by the end of 2024. Now, I'm absolutely certain, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, guys, but I'm absolutely certain that each and every one of you has some aspect from 2023 that you're really not content with. Thanks very much, Celeste. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to make sure I make a note of that, as a matter of fact. That neat little thing I call a notepad, kind of important in my life, in my way of looking at things. Where did I put my pen? There it is. So, okay, I will grab that off the stream tonight once we're done, because I'm not going to make that mistake again and try and move it around, because that always confuses me. So I'm just going to take my time with it and do it when we're done here. Now, that being said, we should do this. This one was a little bit of luck, rather. Oh, shit, did I do that? Oh, no, I did that right. I was thinking I just made a mistake and dumped my own system. There we are. And where are we here? And unless I'm reading that wrong, Celeste, your link is, yes, the Star Kindler. So I did hit the right link. And we are now subscribed. Okay, so there you go. Now, the best I can do there. Hey, Missouri, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The way I look at it is this. 2023, the first thing I'm going to suggest you do. Okay, the first thing I'm going to suggest you do. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. Bonus 436 there, Celeste, is what I'm looking at right now after having just subscribed. Now, I am going to really strongly suggest that you turn around and literally find a reflective surface. Doesn't matter what it is. For those of you that do live streaming, you can do it the moment you get on the live stream. Look in the eyes of the lad or the lass looking back at you. You literally tell them, I forgive you for everything you have done and everything you feel you may have done to hinder my personal growth and happiness. By doing this, you will release the negative energy you've been dragging along with you and thereby set the stage for a whole lot more prosperity. But the call is yours, okay, to do with what you will. I'm just strongly suggesting you do it. This is the same thing. This is literally the same path I am using. Okay, and this is why I call myself a spiritual guide. I'm not telling you do this because it may work. I'm telling you this is what I'm doing and it is working. So if you haven't done it already, time to get started. So I mean, the whole 9 yards of what we've just gone through is really come to a time when it's imperative we start putting things to rest. And Celeste, you are now up to 438. What do we got here? Joe, what's being asked? I sure hope so. Uh-oh. Yeah, COPD takes out a lot of people. I can tell you this. I haven't gotten an answer yet, but I can tell you this. I went to the doctor the other day. She is looking for hyperthyroidism in me and colon cancer. Frankly, I'm not worried about either one. Okay. And like I told my doctor, you find out I'm dying, I don't want to know. I've been there, done that. I'm not living my life based on how much time do I have left. I'm living my life based on how much am I going to accomplish today, tomorrow. What am I doing to live each day? And I suggest you do the same thing. Let's live each day as though this is the last day you've got. Okay, let's face it, I could go, well, what's going to happen if you don't wake up tomorrow? How are you going to feel? I believe the term is dead. Okay, but I've got this brilliant idea here. We start focusing on the positive side and start pushing the energy on that. Let's take all the negative things you've gone through, all the conflicts you've had, every one of them, and go, okay, take on any conflict you've had, look at it real clear and understand one critical factor. Whatever the cause, whatever happened, I don't need specifics. This is just a general overall observation based on well over 100,000 clients over the years. Whatever conflict you've had, whether it is with family, friends, professionals, doesn't matter. You are still, where the communication lines are concerned, you are 50% responsible for the problem. Okay. I have never in all of my years seen a variation to that percentage. Not once. Even in my own life, I have never been 100% not to blame. Okay. The conflicts I've had where it comes to communication. Okay. Communication is invariably a 50-50 problem. Other people's actions, your actions, those are 100% the responsibility of the person involved. And this is what we have to realize. That if we're going to change the way our life is going, first rule of thumb, admit your own culpability, if only to yourself. This idea you've got to apologize to everybody you've ever hurt doesn't matter. I mean, don't get me wrong, it will make them feel better. It may smooth things over a little. But the reality is, if you don't forgive you, if you don't accept your responsibility, you're going to have a heck of a time coming across and getting the point across that you're seriously apologizing for whatever you did. Because don't forget, you can control your actions. You can control your speaking. You cannot control how other people perceive it. Now, what do we got here? Yeah, I absolutely agree, Missouri. Missouri goes, life is much better if you don't know when you're going, when you check out. Nothing is guaranteed, all subject to change. And I fully intend on hitting the deck running, which is why I went and got my hair cut. Okay, I'm still keeping an eye on my weight, on my strength, and bringing my health up to date, but I'm doing it because I desire to. Okay, do I still have designs on marrying my other half? Absolutely. But like I told her, we've been together now 3 years. And like I told, 3.5. Like I told her, I'm still gearing my life towards solidifying it with her when she gets up here. But the fact is, if she come across the border, this has not been a waste of time. It's kept me focused with companionship that I can turn to. Granted, I don't have somebody living physically with me, but I've been on my own for a while anyway. So I'm just looking at the next little while here coming up and going into the new year. I'm just not taking the negative with me. Okay. I've already done some major, and I know the newsletter hasn't come out yet, but I have literally been doing a complete rebuild on the layout. I no longer have a page limit I have to worry about for mailing, because when the printer blew, I just went, I'm not dealing with it until next year. Okay, probably not until I get a new printer or until I get a new computer system. So that's where that's standing. And again, especially at this stage, if you've seen something where somebody is being good enough for you to notice and say, hey, this was something really neat to watch. Okay. Very, very important. If you'll be kind enough to ship it to me, I will do my best to get some of them at least included in the newsletter. Understand these are strictly voluntary, because at this point, the newsletter, number one, is absolutely free. Number two, I've got no income, which is something I am focusing on for next year. The important factor, though, is what I'm focusing on is increasing my energy level, increasing increasing the energy around me to promote the draw of prosperity, not going, oh, my life sucks. Oh, I've had a terrible life. My life, the first 6 years, I can do nothing about. Where? Oh, what are we? Oh, okay. Yeah, Joe's going, I smoke still. One of these lifetimes I'll quit. Should never have started, but then that's on me. My dad, though, he spits in a water bottle. And the sad part there is, Joe, your father created a problem for himself years ago. You, at this point, when you're ready, okay, and one of the things I will put in that I've talked about before is there's a real simple way with no withdrawals to quit when people are ready. Okay. But before we deal with that, because we will get to that again in the new year, maybe before that. But right now, take a look at 2023. All the way up until, well, now. Okay, that's over. Nothing from your past, nothing from 2023 can you do a thing about. Everything that has happened has happened. You're stuck with it. But what you can do is look at where you made mistakes. Now, let me ask you this. Have any of you, or more to the point, are any of you willing to point out something you didn't do or that you did do that you really, now you're looking at it going, I never should have done that? Have any of you got a situation like that on your hands? I know I have. I have spent thousands in the last couple of years here on people that said they would help. Okay. And quite frankly, I'm going into 2024 going, I'm not repeating that. I am not repeating the issue of spending money on things that people say, oh, I'll help you. It's just not one of the things I'm willing to gamble on. Not anymore. Okay. On the other hand, I'm also looking at it going, well, let's see. It would be an idea if I actually thought before I spoke. Bigfoot, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Where are we here? Pull that file up. And we go for Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Where are we? This is the link to Bigfoot's live stream. So we copy that, pop that in here, paste, and guys, this is the link to Bigfoot Michigan's Rob's live stream. So drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. It is this cross promotion that is going to make things easier to work. This is what we're going to utilize to change the path that this world is traveling. You're more than welcome there, Bigfoot. Now, where are we here? Let us just... Oh, no, that's me. Doorknob. Okay, let us hit refresh on this one, because I'm just keeping tabs on to see how well it goes. And we hit refresh and see what that comes up with. Okay, I was just checking something there. Now, absolutely, Bigfoot. All you gotta do is pick the time, and as long as it fits my schedule, which is pretty wide open, okay, because I don't think you run. When do you run? As a matter of fact, I just put it up here. Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. That's going to be and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Okay. The best move there, just to put it out there for you, Bigfoot, the Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm on air here. Okay, but Thursdays at, where are we? Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, makes it 10 o'clock in the morning. That is perfect from my end because my Thursday game doesn't start until 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, roughly. And let's face it, I'm just not interrupting my game. Not a problem at all there, Bigfoot. And absolutely we will deal with that. I came to the conclusion that if I'm going to step out of the shadows, so I didn't wait until next year. I went down to Wings today just to grab a coffee, to be fair. Right. But I went down to Wings to get a coffee and to hand out a few Christmas cards. And in the process of that, decided, okay, better get a bite to eat. One of the regulars that I do know, it's taken me 4 years to get to know a couple of these people because I don't talk to them. Okay. But one of them not only asked me to join him, but instead he didn't ask me. He just looked at the waitress and says, I'm picking up the bill for both of us. So I ended up getting lunch and coffee for free, which I'm not about to complain about. But I figured if I'm going to take this and take 2024, I'm not going to take it sitting down and letting my world continue the way it has. That's not working for me. And I'm betting dollars to donuts it's not working for you. So let me ask you this, guys. Yes, Joe, tomorrow night is the ghost of past, present, and future. Okay, that is Friday night. Or not tomorrow night, it's Friday night. In all fairness, football, they don't offer lobster there. Besides that, I'm really not a lobster person. I don't like the finicky annoyance of getting the food. Okay, kind of like I'm not impressed with crab legs. I like crab meat, but I'm not impressed with having to crack the shell open and that sort of thing. But even if I knew somebody was buying dinner, I only buy what I would have bought myself. I only order what I would have ordered myself anyway. I did, however, turn around and bought the soon-to-be former owners of Wings. I bought them a dinner for them to go to one of the best restaurants in the city. And it was funny because she thanked me for it. And she goes, you didn't have to do that. I looked at her and says, I don't have to do a lot of what I do. And a lot of what I should do, I don't do. So I'm looking at this going, okay, I know what 2023 was like. And my health notwithstanding, I'm not happy with the way a lot of it went. So this mess that's behind me, like I said, I've already, this whole wall, all the way from the back corner back here, okay, all the way up to just the bottom 3 shelves on this wall are completely set for next year. They're already completely reorganized. Okay, I got 3 shelves left to do. And I'm in the process of doing that, but I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. As a matter of fact, I think, let me move that out of the way so I don't actually break it. Where are we here? This is one of the ornaments I've got. One of the dragons I've got. And I've got a shelf here that is just for dragons. So I'll pop it up there and grab this other one. No, I did not make these ones. Okay, these are dragons I found that fit quite nicely. And they're being written into the stories. Because like I said, I look for the figures that are actually very representative of what I'm dealing with. Okay. Oh, I should do that actually. So I'm going to show you something really neat to give you an idea. Yeah, Friday night, Joe. Yeah, see, here's the thing, football. I'm all for the idea of companies going, let's have a team building workshop or whatever. But I will tell you this, all the team building in the world, if you feel like you're not an individual, isn't going to help a whole lot. Now, let me take a peek. Give me 5 seconds, because if I had thought about it, I'd grabbed it before. I'm going to show you something that's rather important in my eyes. Okay, the reason I went and got this is because we have here, just grab this one because he's fully painted. This will give you an idea. We're talking, when I'm looking at Dungeons and Dragons, okay, and people talk about dragons and what have you. Bear in mind, here we have a character that is 6 feet tall. Okay, 1 inch equals 6 feet. Now, when we talk about going up against a dragon when you're doing fantasy writing, okay, yeah, we'll take a look at this one. Okay, now here we have a dragon. And here we have a human. Now, take a look at the size of this guy. Okay, now this would be a small dragon. As you can see, this, when we're talking about fighting in dragon, when I'm looking at writing about a fight with a dragon, this gives you an idea of what kind of size we're looking at. You take a look at the jawline and see what happens. We are not talking, that doesn't work well. We are not talking about small critters. This is the reality behind the size of a dragon. To be honest with you, this one I cannot remember for the life of me what his name is. I will show you the other one. Yeah, that's a small dragon. But this one here, okay, now the human did know this one. Now, this dragon is Elok Shan. Okay, in the Yldrbacian Chronicles, this here is absolutely perfect for Elok Shan. This last here, although, now this, you'd have to look at it as though the woman is the 6 foot mark, a little shorter in all fairness. This is Catalina Shorman. And this is the dragon she knew when it was young. Now, compared to her, this was the size. Bear in mind, the other one is standing on its own. I can tell you that compared to this character is closer to the reality. But again, we're putting the past behind us, meaning I'm taking a look at the negative side of things and going, I can't do anything about what hasn't been done or what went sideways. Where are we? Yeah, in all fairness, in football, they really could have. And the thing with team building workshops, the reality is most of the time, sad to say, they're great from the company's perspective. From the individual standpoint, you're being lumped in as just another number. Okay. So what I'm looking at here is that now that's two of the dragons. I'm wondering if I've got enough room here. Because this is one box that is now done. I might need it, so I'm not going to throw it out yet, but that almost hurt. Let's grab the other box. Like I said, this is the question of I could leave things sit. I could absolutely leave things sit. What do I got here? Got a couple of ornaments here. This one I'm not getting rid of. It's got nothing to do with dragon, but this is one of those keepsakes I'm keeping hold of. My old brother made it before he passed away. Obviously, before he passed away. Now this thing here, I had a professional wood carver make this cup out. Made this cup for me. It has been cured. It's been treated. This cup is literally usable. This cup can be eaten. Now, this wooden bowl can be used. It can be eaten out of. But this is in the Yldrbac Chronicles. This is the bowl that Jeremiah draws with him. Okay. And again, when we are looking at the past, I've done a lot of background work. Now, there's a few things I'll be dealing with in the extremely near future here. What else is left in here? Oh, yes. I know this is really important. Jeremiah's corkscrew. As you can see, it's handmade and that sort of thing. Now, this here, there's a lady that shows up in the Yldrbac Chronicles by the name of Embersley. You'll notice she's got black wings. This is you love this one. This is a warrior cast angel or angelus. And yes, her wings are black and leathery. They are not a demon. Okay. You gotta remember, bats aren't demons either, but they do have black leathery wings. So we take that one, pop that up there. And this one goes up there with them. Like I said, I've got a shelf up here that handles those. And then this one, I forget what this dragon's name is. But again, it was a figure that I picked up. Okay, and this scene is written into the Yldrbac Chronicles. So that will sit up there as well on my dragon shelf. And again, I had the shelf empty. Now I'm putting dragons up where they belong. But this will clear out the stuff I don't require. Not the least of which is Jeremiah's drinking goblet. But when you take a look at the past, these are all things I've been working on, and I literally ended up putting to rest for a little bit. Okay, but I'm no longer interested in letting things sit and go and wait in limbo anymore. And needless to say, now get this. Where is that figure? This is likely a little large. You got to do the calculations, but it may not be. I got to do a little bit of calculation, but just take a look at the size of a hatchling. Now, if you look at that, you've got a hatchling that is about 18 feet tall. Okay, which ain't bad when you think of the size of dragons. I got to double check that because this may well become an active scene. But where are we here? Turn that sideways so we've got room for him. That won't work. Put him there. Okay, but I'm looking at the past. That is possible. I really haven't chosen that yet. Yeah, no doubt that, Robert. And this is something like there is, when we talk about omelets that size, just north of us, about an hour up the road, is an ostrich farm. Okay, and we can literally go up there and buy ostrich eggs. Which, by the way, you take one ostrich egg, it's like cooking a dozen eggs, at least from what I gather. So I'm thinking next year, once the weather turns back to normal, I may just get a friend of mine to pick me up one. I've got a friend that lives up that way. But, I look at everything I put on hold, everything I stumbled on, the whole 9 yards, and go, I could look at it and go, oh, woe is me, I'm such a failure. I didn't get this done. I didn't get that done. How many of you are looking at 2023 going, I should have got this completed. I wish I got that started. Too bad I didn't do this. How many of you are taking a look at 2023 right now and going, I messed up, or I should have done something? Okay. Lord knows I've got my fair share of that. Okay, I really do. So, with that in mind, I'm hitting 2024 going, okay, I can't do a thing about the past. I can certainly change the way the future is going to go. Robert goes, at least I got my leg fixed. Or is it the other F word? Yep, you get to figure that one out. But at least you're not dying of gangrene. Okay, and I've seen people try and do that. It's no fun to watch. It's less fun to experience. But, from my standpoint, I would lay odds that virtually each and every one of you has some aspect from 2023 you're not content with. Now is the time to pack it up and go, I can't do a thing about it. Okay, we are sitting on the 20th. We are looking at a week and a half left of 2023. Week and a half. Looking at 10 days of 24 hours, you're looking at 240 hours left to tie things off. Now, where is my brain box? It's right there. Now, if we take 8 times 10, you got 240 minus 80. There's a use for the brain box. Handy, eh? 160 hours of waking time to tie off and to flip around your thinking to say, okay, 2023 I can't do a thing with. I'm getting started on 2024. I'm putting everything to rest, and I'm getting started. Now, I thought about waiting until the 2nd. I put off getting started on changing my world until the 2nd of January. It's an arbitrary number. The end of the year comes around, and I'm going to wait till the beginning of the year. I mean, yeah, I could do that starting now. Okay. So now what I'm looking at is this. I go way over here, and I know you can't see it. Okay. But I go over here and throw my pen on the floor. Go over here, and in the center, I've got the healing center I'm planning on building. Okay, and I've got all these bits and pieces that I'm starting to add to. And rest assured, as I get them started, I am going to turn around and let people know this is what I've got the door open to. Okay, My hope is, and my whole focus in this case, is to take a look at the changes I'm planning on making and go, okay, I've said I'm making them, therefore this is going to happen. And yeah, Robert, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Robert's just pointing out, as the Monty Python gang saying, Monty Python song goes, always look on the bright side of life. Okay, now there are some pretty twisted looking ways of looking at the bright side. Okay, but I just came to the conclusion I am not willing to drag this on any further. This idea, my other half pointed out to me that I had a tendency of looking at and vocalizing how disappointed in mankind I am. And there's no doubt I am. But I will tell you, one of my commitments to me, not to you, to me, is to make sure I focus on what are people doing well. Where are people making improvements? Like, I am going to be tickled pink, especially with you, Robert, when you manage to get your feet on the ground, literally, and are able to stand up and walk without the assistance of a walker, without the pain. Okay, when you're able to get up and walk, even with the pain, where you're able to walk independently once again. Okay, now I don't know if you'll ever get to the point where you can walk without a cane. I've been on one for, well, let's see, 12, so 48 years now. Okay, a cane itself does not stop you from being able to maneuver. But I have decided that, I could point out all the bad things. I mean, let's face it, billions of people are sitting in front of a pulpit or behind the pulpit, in front on the pews, are sitting around in circles where somebody's standing there going, you're all going to die. Everybody's going to suffer massive losses. You're going to go bankrupt. Here's an idea. Give me $240 and you never have to work another day in your life. This is a cute thought. I will tell you, if even 100 of you gave me $240, okay, I'd be in pretty dang good shape. No, that was not a hint, by the way. I've never turned money down, but the reality of it is, if we take 100 at 24 and at 240 and $200, you're looking at right there $20,000. Okay. Now, you get enough people when you put out an ad that says, you don't have to work another day in your life. Just give me X number of dollars and I'll make sure you never have to work again. I'm telling you, that's a great thought. It's a fabulous sales pitch. Am I going to buy into that kind of sales pitch? Not a snowball's prayer. Okay. And I've got nothing against people that do that. I really don't. If that's the gamble you want to go on, be my guest. Okay. I am still a firm believer that you will feel better, and I know I do, if I'm working to generate an income than if I just sit back, push a button, and let something else happen. Okay. Yeah, football. When the leg goes gangrene, not only does the body rot and you can feel it, but the nerves light up like a Christmas tree. So yeah, because the lady I was dealing with, she came to me where her foot halfway up the calf was black and was literally decaying while it sat there. Okay. And according to what she relayed, now I didn't suffer from gangrene myself. Okay. Well, not this lifetime. But when I was talking to her, she was in constant pain. Okay. So when I went to work on her, and this is why I say, if you're suffering from something like that and modern medicine hasn't worked, in conjunction with modern medicine, find a true energy healer, meaning somebody that does not require to physically lay a hand on you. Okay. Get them to open your foot chakras. If they tell you the foot chakra is minor, find somebody else. By opening this woman's foot chakras and a few other things, we ended up managing to remind her body how to reverse gangrene. She didn't lose her foot. She lost one toe. Specifically, she lost the middle toe. Okay, so is it reversible? Absolutely, but according to her, it was excruciating until we started working on it, at which point we managed to turn it around. Oh, Joe, where are we? Yeah, we are going to combine that one because I got to do a little bit of looking, not into the origin of it, but into what it means today. But we are going to be including that particular topic on Friday. Okay, I've got a couple of people I know of that I want to get some insight off of. Okay, but with that in mind, okay, the answer there, football, is yeah, we had her look at some of the diet and what have you. Okay, as far as the exercise went, that boiled down to a stubborn streak and moving the foot a little because she was at a point where she wouldn't even move the ankle. Right, she couldn't walk properly. Like she wasn't stuck in a wheelchair, but because of the pain, she couldn't put her foot on the ground without it being in pain. So the first thing we did was I took a look at it and simply worked on the energy side of it. As we looked at that, we looked into science. She looked into the nutrition side to see what she could do. And this is why I say, when I'm referring to energy work, this is in conjunction with modern science, with modern medicine, modern nutrition, that side of it. They are all part and parcel of the same package. And this is where that healing center that I'm in the process of putting together, this is going to encompass all of it because it is all tied together. But I'm not interested anymore in sitting back going, lock the hands together and let's do this and hope that I show you the other side, but it doesn't work well. Well, sort of. Okay, we can sit here and twiddle our thumbs until the end of time. If we don't get off our tail feathers and start making direct changes, you're going to run into some pretty serious problems. Okay, and if you don't make changes to your own life, who are you going to blame? I mean, who are you going to call? That'd be the Ghostbusters. But who are you going to blame? Most people, anybody. It's the elite's fault. It's the mega corporation's fault. It's the church's fault. It's God's fault. It's the off-worlders' fault. Very, very seldom do I hear somebody do what I do and go, I ended up in the shape I'm in because of the fact that I ran out of faith in a lot of things, people being one of them. But to be clear, I was looking at the world very backwards. Okay, I was doing the same thing I keep telling people not to do. I was looking at the overall picture going, it's falling apart and we are fried. The reality is the massive majority of people are intent on making this a better world. If not for other people, at least for themselves. Okay, and it's by joining those people together. Absolutely, Celeste. Absolutely. Negativity will kill. Okay. And I figure I'm 60. I'm aiming at living another 77 years. Okay. I am intent on turning my health around to the point where I get to see the 22nd century this lifetime. I know in this body, in functional health. Yes, I know that's one heck of a gamble. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but Lord knows I'm going to die. I will end up dying trying. And everything I'm putting that I'm looking at says I can do it. Think about it. Science has already proven that the human body replaces every cell in its body every 7 years. The different organs change at different speeds, but every cell is changed every 7 years. This means you never get older than 7. Well, when I remember how to tap into that entirely, my problem is solved. I get to live until I get bored. Okay, but I'm no longer willing to sit back and go, oh, the world bites and I'm tired of it. In all fairness, guys, you guys have been an absolute supercharger when it comes to the support side of things. That's just the reality behind it. And this is why I say, where are we here? Absolutely, they do, Celeste. If you believe you're going to be and that you're going to die, well, whether you believe you're going to die or not, the odds are you will end up dying. However, dying is an easy job. The real trick is find out how to live. Now, I can continue saying I'm a recluse, and I'm not going to deny the fact that I am more comfortable at home than I am out in public. That said, I am not going to let that stop me anymore. Okay, there are things that are going to take more time to get past. Okay, but I am bound and determined. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Okay, now some of you have said, well, I've been asked, are people that claim to be from a different world, are they really from a different world? I am not about to tell you one way or the other. I will tell you this. The massive majority of people I've talked to, we can chalk it up this way. If your body looks human, responds in a human fashion, as in medicine works functionally normally, diet works properly, you breathe the same thing that other people do. In other words, if it looks like a duck, it walks, it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, odds are it's a duck. Now, like many Pekingese I've seen, they look like a Pekingese, they walk like a Pekingese, they bark like Pekingese, and I swear they still think that they're a war dog. Okay. You can relate to or identify with whatever you please. The physical body, when I talk about when somebody's human, okay, I look at, are they in a human body? Not how do they relate, not how do they see the world. Joe goes, I have to be at the right place at the right time and just take a chance and walk up to what. And walk up to her and say, and absolutely, Joe, that really does boil down to now the right place and time. I will tell you, it's real tricky. The right place and time is literally wherever you run into the one that catches your attention. All you got to do is say hi. Now, that is the most difficult word to speak when you're looking to find a partner because you don't know if she's taken, and for obvious reasons, just a thought, and it's common sense in my eyes. Before you say hi with any intent behind it, do check the ring finger. If she's wearing a ring, certainly say hi. It will help you get used to the idea of talking to a woman. And especially if it's one that you find attractive. Okay. Yeah, Noah lived 959. Methuselah lived or 50. Methuselah lived 969. Now, I know for an absolute certainty the body can do it. We do have to, because there's so much toxin being put into our food and into our air, it is absolutely imperative that we turn the mind around and start eliminating the toxins in the way that I know can be done. Now, how do I know it can be done? Well, let's see. 25 years without so much as a cold. Okay. Now, yes, last summer I had a cold, the first one in a quarter century. I'm not planning on another one again. I've had enough of them. Okay. I already told one person when I get the call from the doctor on Friday. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, Friday. Let me see here. No, that one, this one. Oh, okay. I will tell you right now, just on me this particular appointment I cannot miss. So, Friday, I'm going to be starting later. Okay. We're still going to be talking, and we're still going to cover the ghosts of past, present, and future. We're still going to look at the meaning behind mistletoe, but I won't be able to start it until probably 6:30. 6 or 6:30, because my appointment with the doctor that I'm not about to miss for obvious reasons starts at 5:10. Okay, so and it's not likely to start right on time. Joe's just going, yep, ring finger every time. 9 times of 10, there's a ring. There's a ring. No ring, but, but a cemetery is a no-no. Yeah, you do not approach somebody in the cemetery. Unless you can go transparent, at which point it becomes fun. But, no, yeah, absolutely double check. But no, Friday, as it turns out, and it's a good thing I thought about that. That's why I left it sitting here. Is Friday, I will be late starting because it will have to wait until after my doctor's appointment. But as I told one person, actually, I told a couple, they come back and tell me, oh, you've got hyperthyroidism or you've got cancer. I'm going to look at them and go, not getting medication for it. No way. The medication that they use, number one, is likely to kill me. Okay. Way too many toxins for me personally. Okay. I'm just not that interested in it. But it is time to look in the mirror and go, are you content? Like what you see here, what I did with my hair today. Okay. Yes, my other half prefers it short. Okay. I did this because I chose to. Now, needless to say, I didn't bother changing this side of it because I figure I've been pushing my hair back for 30 years. I am not trying to retrain it. And that's just stubborn disposition on my part. But, the thing is, we have the choice. Now, 2023 is behind us for all intents and purposes. What are we looking at here? Missouri man goes, water is life. It is subatomic, monoatomic reaction within the metals is what heals the DNA. Now, we could get into a real complicated conversation on that, but we can leave it at that. Politely put, Missouri, that's a little oversimplified, but this is a good thing. Okay, science is doing wonders in understanding what's going on. The key factor here is you don't have to understand the auto mechanics on it. What you've got to accept is that you have control over whether your life is going to continue or whether you're going to be successful, regardless of what you've been through. Yeah, absolutely, Missouri man. Absolutely food for thought. And that is what we are driving into 2024 with. Okay, is I intend on just simply opening doors and going, you may be looking at the world this way, but consider this option or consider this perception. Hand's not quite long enough, got an itchy spot. Not to worry, it doesn't actually have a sharp blade. But I am looking at the world and going, okay, now somebody asked me the other day about how I was going to look at certain conversations. Okay, the way I figure it, I can sit here and talk in a monotone tone and see if we can actually get anybody's attention somehow. I don't think that's going to work well. Or I can become a little bit more vocal about it. Okay, let me ask you this. In your eyes, which holds your attention better? Elevator music or high-paced dance music? Or a monotone soliloquy or something with fluctuations? This is what we have to look at because life is what we make it. You are standing right now on what could either be paradise incarnate or it could be hell on earth. Your call how you're going to make that happen. Bear in mind, lighting a fire can bring warmth to the room. Setting the house on fire can make it absolutely hell. I'm not sure about you, but I think we'll just start up a little fire, keep it contained, and grow it from there. What do you think? Sound like a good idea? Or would you rather we sit down and do what everybody else is doing, and we'll just sit here and just repeatedly tell you how miserable your life is because you're not doing exactly what I tell you? Okay. From my standpoint, this just doesn't add up. Most of the so-called spiritual guides I've met, no, not that I've met, that I've heard about from online, will stand there and tell you exactly what you need to do to make your life better. But they're doing exactly the opposite. Materialism is evil. You don't need all the material stuff. I'm driving a brand spanking new Maserati fully loaded. Okay. Because that's what God told me I can have. No, that's what greed and ego told you required. Okay. I've got a 22 RVR. Okay, which is a Mitsubishi. It's something along the lines of a Cherokee or something to that effect without the four-wheel drive. It's an SUV essentially. But I got a brand new one because I cannot change a windshield wiper. Can you picture me trying to change a set of brakes? That's always a bonus, Joe. I got asked one day. I used to have the same problem. I was in a PAC, which is Parent Advisory Committee, and they asked me. They looked at me and went, "Why aren't you a stand-up comedian?" I said, "Because I have," and they're all laughing. I looked at them and I said, "Because I haven't said anything funny." Well, that did not help settle the mood. But if you can get people to laugh, okay, you are head and shoulders above what other people do. Now, I'm not about to sit and stream myself playing a video game. Okay, not going to happen. Because frankly, it is as boring as all get out. It's kind of like sitting and watching paint dry in my eyes. My older brother, his first job when we got to the Okanagan was literally painting the grass green. Of all the egocentric jobs, the company goes, it's the middle of summer, we've got a drought going on, but dang it, we need green grass. So instead of watering the daylights out of it, they painted it. I'm not sure, but I don't think this was quite as effective as they would have liked. So I'm looking at this going, we can continue looking at the past and carry that energy into the future. Okay, now I put it to you this way. Okay, a couple of days ago, I think, might have been just last week, I don't know. But I mentioned get 12 things started listed on your goal list to get them completed by the end of 2024. Now, I've got a lot of my list done. I've still got to add to it. And that's one of the things I'm focusing on tonight it dawned on me today that, and it's out there. I've got a blanket, a quilt that I was making, that I was crocheting. Honestly, football, the answer is yes, if it stays. But here's the nice part about it. Okay, on the plus side, they were using paint that was biodegradable, was safe for plants, as it were, and it was water soluble. But the reality from my standpoint, well, on the plus side, when you're making organically safe green paint, okay, take grass and boil it down, you get green paint. Well, if you're spraying grass with grass colored paint, with grass made paint, you're not going to poison the grass, because all you have to do is boil the grass until the water turns green. And they had to cut the lawn anyway. So from that standpoint, the kind of paint they were using, from what I gather, was perfectly safe for the grass. But, in all fairness, I still feel it would have been better to, I'm a firm believer, leave the grass whatever color it is. But we have a choice. Okay, now how many of you are actually, are you as an individual actually willing to carry the energy of 2023 into the new year? Into 2024. Now, I am just hitting refresh here because I want to check something out here, just because I'm interested, which is a good reason in my eyes. Go back there and we hit refresh. So again, guys, if you like the stream, absolutely do us a favor. No. I really should not do that, but I really have to think about that and actually think before I speak would be an idea. When I'm driving, I think before I turn the car. Something about being afraid of being run over. But are you interested in dragging the negative energy from 23 into 24? If not, when you get off the stream, if you haven't done it already, and you'll notice in this case, because I'm looking straight into the camera, and therefore I'm looking straight into my own eyes. Okay. World Bigfoot, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You look into the eyes of the guy or the girl looking back at you, and you literally tell them, I forgive you for everything you have done and everything you feel you may have done to hinder my personal growth and happiness. Okay, this will give you the key to let the negative past go and start building a much brighter tomorrow. Okay, but starting today. Now we take this and we go here, and world, where are you? There we are. This is the link to World Bigfoot Radio. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel, and then share the daylights out of the thing. Okay, because it is this mutual sharing and mutual support that is going to bring things about and make them change. Okay, but it's not going to happen unless we get off our own tail feathers and make it happen and make it work. Okay, that's just the reality behind it. But we have to decide on it. Uh-oh. Oh, nice world. Very nice indeed. I mean, I've looked at a number of the videos the world's put out. And much as I don't tend to drop into chat rooms a lot, primarily because, well, found out the other day while I was getting the stuff ready to go to the doctor, found out when my eldest son had, he had been asked to also send her a document stating how he saw what I was going through. Turns out he never said anything about it, but I have literally been losing days at a time. Okay, which by the way is why sometimes I just don't show up online. I'd love to say it's not going to be that way in the future. I can say that it's just not going to work that well. That is absolutely correct there, Joe. Joe just going, the paranormal activity will still be there for me in 24. But the thing I have to realize is it won't harm me at all. Absolutely the point. There are some things that can happen. And we can cite certain things like the Amityville horror. Okay. We can absolutely tell you there are some entities and some negative paranormal events that can harm people. But on the whole, very, very few and far between. It's like the idea that, yes, there are serial killers out there. Okay. But the massive majority of people are not serial killers. In all fairness, in one twisted way of looking at it, quite a lot of you, and especially your kids, are serial killers. Every morning I have a bowl of cereal and I kill the thing. Okay, because let's face it, once you eat a bowl of cereal, that thing is not going to look like a bowl of cereal anymore. For some reason, it tends to decay. But that said, are you yourself willing to take the negative energy into 2024? Okay, or are you ready to put your foot down and say, as Twisted Sister put it, we're not going to take it anymore. No, I'm not about to sing that for you. Sorry, guys, I'm doing you a favor. But Twisted Sister did a song, We're Not Going to Take It Anymore. And in all fairness, it has a very solid meaning to it. I don't know what their entire intention was when they wrote it. Okay, but I am a firm believer that unless we dig our heels in and go, not part of my reality anymore, I'm not accepting those limitations. Okay, as long as we're willing to accept limitations imposed by others and or by ourselves, we are going to continue replicating what we've already done. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm really not that interested in it. Probably football. I just don't pay attention to the government anyway. Aside from, I am a firm believer that if I've got taxes to pay, I'm not avoiding them. I'd love to say that I'd love them to turn the tax system around properly, but from my end, I will tell you this. The government, the layout of the government, the layout of the corporations is done right. Even the educational system was built correctly. The people operating it, the people that are deciding what parts of it to utilize, even on the spiritual front, the spiritual path, the methods that were laid out in the beginning were sound. The fact they have been badly corrupted by today's people is not the system's fault. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, yeah, football I did. Okay, I went to public school all the way through. When I was in public school, I did what everybody else did. Well, sort of. Okay, but I was in public school all the way from kindergarten through grade 12. Now, the reality is they diagnosed me at a young age as being mentally retarded. I didn't understand what mentally retarded meant. So I graduated from the honor roll, on the honor roll. You know, my parents were really good at making certain that I did not buy into other people's self-imposed limitations and encouraged me to keep asking questions. And I will absolutely. No, football, in all fairness, I haven't heard from Fair at all in a couple of weeks now. Okay. So I have no idea what she's up to. You know, but yeah, I did know she's been missing. But no, I went through the school system. They told me what I should think, etc., etc. And well, it didn't take that well. I ended up doing what I was told I couldn't do. I graduated on the honor roll. Not a bad run, if you ask me. But I am now looking at 2024 going, 2023 was frustrating as all get out. And I'm sure many of you agree with that side of it. Okay. Anybody here have 2023 a good year for any of you? Like a really positive, upbeat year. I know for me it was a shambles. Most of that was my own doing. Okay, it was a lack of self-control, a lack of focus, and an absolute lack of ability and or willingness to develop the ability, for that matter, to deal with much of the so-called normal world. And I really don't have much use in buying into the normal state of things. I am not about to sit here and go, oh, the world's going to end and we're all going to suffer horrendous losses. No, the world is going to end. Absolutely it will. So be prepared, because in about 5 billion years or so, this world is going to get consumed by the sun. Okay. Now you can worry about that if you'd like. I'm not entirely certain how much fun you'll have if you spend 15 years worrying about it. Okay. But I will tell you this. If you focus on your life right here, right now, on making changes, one of the things I found out, and I told people this for a long time, take all this junk that I had around me, and as it goes away, my energy level starts to climb. Well, I don't know about you, but which in your eyes is better? Feeling like you're drugged through a knothole backwards, slapped around a half a dozen times, and thrown down the staircase into traffic? Or would you rather feel like you're energized, like you've got the ability to get up and go? Okay, which one in your eyes makes more fun and more sense? Yeah, World Bigfoot goes, public school teach you good. It makes you smart. It makes you smart. Yep, no doubt. See, I speak the good English too, but this is why I learned that I can speak mumblies, slurries, stumblies, and stutteries quite nicely. Okay, I can even speak yawnies if I have to. Celeste, I agree. Now, there is a North American Indian proverb that basically goes. I don't know if I want to call it a proverb, but every person has a black wolf and a white wolf. Okay, in each of them, vying for control. Okay, one is evil, one is good. They're fighting each other for control. Which one are you going to let win? Which one are you going to feed? Okay, I'm no longer interested in feeding the creep. The one that's being grumpy all the time, he can sit in the corner and wait for dinner, and he can mumble and complain about what's on the table. The one that stands up and goes, Daggett, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go try something new. Now, to be clear, I am not going to sit down and try tapioca again, thanks. Don't care how many people tell me it's good for me. Same as yogurt. Not going to happen. Yeah, no doubt. World goes, please don't dare 2024 to try and suck worse than 2023 did. No, absolutely not. As the saying goes, the suck factor in 2024 has been abolished. We're not permitting it into our life, period. Just not interested in it. Okay, so it can go away, and we're going to build a bonfire of enthusiasm, a bonfire of productivity and positivity. This is what we're going to look at. Build a bonfire of positivity and prosperity, and we can take negativity and futility and all that, and we can have us a good old-fashioned roast. And we just might be able to get a little bit of nutrition out of them. If not, you burn them until they're gone. Okay, I'm going to do my best not to tolerate a negative outlook on life from here on out. Never mind 2024. Okay, now is the time to really focus on making the world change, making your world change. So let me ask you this. Have any of you got any idea in mind of what you're not bringing into 2024 with you? Just even if it's one thought process that you've been dragging with you. Okay, have any of you got a thought process? And I could end it there, at which point it becomes a really rude comment. Or we can finish it off and go regarding what part of 2023, what aspect that you've been living in 2023, what are you going to put behind you? Yeah, football. Challenging the spirit is not a brilliant idea. Okay. I mean, I do remember Mephistopheles coming into my house one day. He walks in through the door, and I mean, literally, he faded in through the door. And he looks at the five of us that were there and goes, I am Mephistopheles, you will fear me. I turned around and looked at him, and the other four ran up against the wall, and turned chalk white, which wouldn't have been so bad if the one guy hadn't been Negro to start with. But I looked at him after, and I went, after lunch. He goes, I am Mephistopheles, you will fear me. So we discussed that already after lunch. And he went back and forth like this for a little bit, but eventually he got the hint and left. For me, I don't have any functional use to keep inviting negativity into my world anymore. Okay, I'm just not that interested in it. Okay, but I will tell you, people with an outlook kind of like we're a Bigfoot here. It's a little bit of a dry humor, but it's a very enjoyable one. I got told the other day I've got a morbid sense of humor. Pass that on to somebody else that knows me and goes, yeah, and they went, you think? I'm like, well, it's just normal to me. But no, it's like, the idea of challenging a ghost or or the paranormal to make something happen I dare you to do that. It's kind of like daring a violent gunman to shoot you. The odds are he'll comply. And it's not usually an enjoyable thing from what I gather. So all in all, we are looking at a world that is absolutely, where are we here? Yeah, Bob goes, too bad my family church here in Michigan doesn't have a comedy hour. I'd go back and sign up on the list. Yeah, my ex wouldn't actually let me go to church because she was afraid I would actually turn around and challenge the pastor on his sermon. Yeah, in all fairness, their world, if I recall correctly, the whole cast got fired from that. But I mean, Mephistopheles, he's a wonderful man, a little egocentric, a little slow on the uptake, but he does not know how to handle somebody that goes, okay, so you're frightening, but I'm busy eating. I swear, I swear a lot that I'm half hobbit because I still only have one meal a day. I start it when I get up in the morning and I eat until I go to bed at night. Absolutely football. And might I make a suggestion? Well, no, I definitely can make the suggestion. The first person to develop positivity and patience with is that young lass in the mirror. That's the first one to develop patience with. Because I will tell you, you develop patience with her and a positive outlook on her life, and you got everything you need to be successful. Everything you require, rather. Okay. And we're going to walk through this. I'm going to be going through this on a daily basis here as much as I can. Yes, there will be days I miss, and probably without warning. Okay. But I will do my best. And this is why I'm saying I was just looking at it. Friday, we are going to cover Christmas, but it's going to be at least 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. No, probably, where are we? That call comes in at 5:10. So it's probably going to be 6 o'clock. It might even be as late as 6:30. But rest assured, Friday night. Friday night is not the new year. Because that would have put a kink in things. Nope. Friday night is not the new year. So, it may be later, but it will happen. Okay, and that's just the reality behind what I'm up against. But like I said, football, start with finding patience and positivity with the lady in the mirror first. And I strongly encourage you, get a list of 12 items together, 12 projects to get completed by the end of 2024. Okay. I'm going to do my best to get that list completed today. I think I've got 8 on mine, possibly 9. Yeah, I got to build that list and get it done right, but I'll do that after the stream. Oh, nice. That's excellent there, World. World's just going, I am sharing the Christmas special from the Anonymous Yeti channel, channel for Christmas this year. Uh-oh. A little holiday terror from the Imperial Warlord of Yetistan. Uh-oh. I get a kick out of it. When I look at watching Christmas movies, I look at some of the old times. This will give you an idea of how old my thinking is. I still, like last night, I sat down with my other half and we watched the 1951 version of Scrooge. Now, apparently, that was written back in something like 1843. Okay, just over 100 years earlier. Okay, but the one I watched last night was the movie done in 1951. Then we turned around and fell asleep watching Miracle on 34th Street. So I'm going to be watching that one. And It's a Wonderful Life. Now, I've already watched the live action version of How Grinch Stole Christmas. To me, these are the movies that I look to, not the Nightmare on Elm Street. They may well be good movies, just not my cup of tea. So I mean, from my standpoint, I don't have a problem with the other movies for other people. It's just, are they ones I'm likely to watch? No. But then I know some people that will quite happily watch paint dry. I don't find that exciting. one of the things I put to rest just a couple of weeks ago was I took my game mastering and shut it down. But in answer to the question, I believe it was you that asked football. Let me see here because I want to make sure I get my footing right. 26th, I won't be on. Yeah, so it won't be until the new year when I get back into the gaming side of things. But I'm going to start laying out in very strong detail. And while I lay it out to you, okay, I'm going to lay out a world that I'm going to be writing on. Okay, but I'm going to walk you through it while I go. And we're going to look at how to build a world that is interactive. And, the neat part about it from my standpoint, and I got no bones about this, okay, I'm going to lay it out. And if people come up with an idea of, hey, try this on, I'm starting work. I've already started work on a science fantasy story. It is undoubtedly going to end up in turning into a trilogy. But I'm staying focused on getting book 12 out, Races of the Worlds. I'm not giving you time frames that I'm getting them out. They're just the priority lines. Because there is too much negativity in this world. And I keep putting time frames on, and they don't work. I keep telling people that, I'd love to say time works properly for me, but the reality is it doesn't tend to balance out that way. Way too much corroborating evidence backing that little problem up. What? Get all those out of it. There we go. Okay, there. Now I can see what's going on. No, that's right. The reality of it is, I don't blame myself for other people's shortfalls. It's like I tell people, I can absolutely explain a lot of what I see. I can explain a lot of it to you. What I can't do is understand it for you. Okay, but I can go, this is the change I'm making. Like, for instance, this neat little mess that's right here. I can tell you that I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to do my level best to get all of this stuff gone by the time I get back on the air on Friday. Can I say I'll definitely manage to do it? Well, I can say it, but I can't exactly guarantee it. Now, those two boxes are just empty. Okay. Both of them were absolutely, they were just chock full there. But these go on my dragon shelf. Because little key light dragon. And this one actually holds tapered candles. I'm just not interested in doing that. So these guys can go up here onto my shelf. I've got a shelf now that is just jammed full of dragons. I've got other dragons out front. But I could drag all the negativity into the world that I'd like. Not necessarily my best idea. So we take these and put them on the knick-knack shelf I'm not getting rid of. But all of this has to go. Okay, all the negativity, all the clutter in my world is going the way of the dodo bird. I take that and pop that over there. Let's not hurt myself, shall we? There's novel pod. And then this neat little guy here, that's just a gargoyle. And again, it boils down to having little knickknacks. I've gotten rid of an awful pile of things I no longer require. But the question you got to ask yourself is, are you going to continue living your life based on the negative stuff that you know of, or are you going to generate a more positive outlook? Okay, the call is entirely yours. Question is, how many of you really desire to drag 2023's energy in with you? Joe goes, my niece and her husband got married in 2019. They're both Catholic. Anyways, there was, of course, an open bar a few feet away. Someone said, hey, Joe, there's a bar. I said, there's a priest. Yep. Unfortunately, so, the stress that goes on, I look at it and go, okay, like when I got married to my first wife, we had an open bar. Now, in all fairness, I was drinking a 26 a night, so an open bar seemed reasonable. Not necessarily the best option. But I don't know about you, but 2023 was an absolute shambles. In my eyes, 2021 and 2020, when everything was on lockdown, it went really well for me. People left me alone. They didn't bother me about going out with them. Didn't bother me about going places. They just left me alone. This worked out really nice for me. However, 2024, like I said, I am doing everything I can to make it to the SOR party down in Nevada. Okay. As it stands, that's going to happen, but I do have to be realistic and look at it. But I'm no longer willing to wait around. And who do we got here? What do we got? Oh, that's excellent. So, care to share what the good news is? Desiree's going, hello, Arcade. This is Desiree. Derek told me to tell you there's some good news to share. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Celeste. The fact I'm still breathing is a bonus. Some people may be looking at me going, why didn't you die in 2023? It would have been so much better. We wouldn't have had to listen to you. And I'm a firm believer of, hey, you don't want to listen to me? There's no problem there. I'm not entirely certain, but I think most people have an off button on their computer. Okay. But it's like I told one young lass today. I make literally everybody I meet happy. Some of them by showing up, most of them by leaving. Oh, okay. Desiree's going, not sure. He should be back in a minute from the store. Well, that's excellent. We will, what time are we here? Okay, what we'll do is we'll hang on for a little bit here instead of shutting down. And we'll keep the door open so you can get here. There's no question we're hitting the 2-hour mark. So we are looking, mind you, I started a little early. So yeah, sticking around and hopefully getting to hear what the good news is, that'd be great. Otherwise, it's going to end up waiting till Wednesday or till Friday. But of course, like I said, guys, Friday, I'm going to be starting late. Okay, I'm still going to be on, but due to when my phone call from the doctor comes in, I don't know if it's going to be, if it's going to be at 5:30 I start or at 6:30, but I will be on unless I happen to die. Not unless they tell me you're going to die. Oh, he absolutely can, Desiree. He absolutely can. He's got my number. So we'll see how that goes. But I do know when I get done here, the first thing I'm going to do is go and deal with getting something for supper. Because, well, when did I eat? I did eat at noon, which is not bad. I ate breakfast at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Thing. When is it? Today was the 18th, 19th. No, today is not the 19th. Oh, okay. Yeah, I ate breakfast at about 12:30 this morning and then went to bed, which may not be classified as breakfast. And then I got back up at 5:30. I went to bed at like 1 o'clock this morning, got back up at 5:30. Right. And then I didn't have lunch until 11:30 this morning. 11 o'clock, 11:30. So yeah, it's about time to get supper on the go. Okay. From my end, it simply boils down to this: eat or pass out. Take your pick. I like to eat better. But what I'm looking at is this. In my eyes, 2023 is a done deal. I cannot undo what's been done. I cannot change how things went. All I can do, thank you very much, Desiree. I appreciate that. All I can do is say, okay, guys, 2023 is a done deal. Let's go into 2024 pushing for positive change. Okay. And to that end, it's really important that we take a look at whatever you went through and learn from the things you did. Okay. Where are we? Desiree goes, we had breakfast for dinner last night. Tonight we're having chicken and mashed potatoes. For me, I haven't quite figured out what I'm making yet. Absolutely, Nathan. And we can, we can sit and complain about it and go, the world, other people are to blame. Other people are creating problems. Absolutely. Okay. But it is up to us to decide that we're changing what we're dealing with. Yeah. Joe's going, one thing is for sure. Even though me and my parents aren't perfect, they're still alive and I have a bed to sleep on. Absolutely. They're still alive and me. If 2023 was a train wreck, oh, can't read that. Oh, yeah. If 2023 was a train wreck, then learn to drive the train in 2024. Okay, absolutely. As the saying goes, I mean, I was brought up with a simple philosophy. My brother told me, if you don't like the way I drive, stay off the flaming sidewalk. You run into a lot less cars on the sidewalk. But I don't recommend that as a good place to drive, by the way. It is, shall we say, exciting. But no, I've been letting other people's gears and other people's directions dictate what my mood was going to do, what my stress level was going to do. So I have decided I'm going to reawaken that ability to go, here comes trouble. There went trouble and it wasn't mine. Sorry. Or maybe if I'm in a good mood and fast enough on it, here comes trouble. Oh, look, clothesline trouble. Now trouble can't get to the person that it's going after. I'm absolutely going to be turning on lights this year. Am I going to ruffle a few feathers? With a little bit of luck, yes. Okay. If not, I'm going to grab a blender and see what I can do about just stirring things up. I was very tempted to stay away from a lot of things. And here's the kicker. On this channel, okay, will I tangle head on with the religions, with the government, with mainstream belief structure? I will state my own, but I'm not about to call people on it. But in the newsletter, I will be putting stuff in there that does target certain belief structures and questions. I'm not afraid of being honest with people up front. I'm just not stupid enough to be upfront about certain things on this channel. I don't feel like getting it banned. And this is where your guys' help comes in really handy. And that would be the first sign that it's time to look at closing things down in spite of the setup. Am I interested in the good news from Derek? Absolutely. Problem is, it seems that my throat is not going to hold it. But absolutely, absolutely, Desiree, do encourage him to text me what it is. I'd love to hear it. That said, unfortunately, my throat is starting to seize. And therefore, I'm going to have to call this a night. But again, if you like the stream, do give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. Because I will be back again on Friday. Friday, I will be late getting back. Okay. I will be late getting back on Friday because of the doctor's appointment. But I will keep you up to date on it. Let's see. Send it to me on Facebook. I will take a look at it tonight, Nathan, after I get a bite to eat. Okay. Now that said, guys, thanks, Desiree. I appreciate that. I will be back on Friday. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, and before I say that, remember, your life is what you make it. Time to put 2023 to rest. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me and with the rest of the people in the chat room. I really do appreciate it. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.